Hello, I am Max from Test Drive Blogs, and today we're doing an LS400 video because as of a couple of days ago, I have now owned this car for 3 months. On the 12th was the actual 3 months, and I've driven it roughly 3,900 miles or so close enough to 4,000. And I'm going to give you kind of an overview of what my ownership has been like of this car so far. And we'll run back through the history of like from when I first got the car to now basically, and go on from there. And so it all started off back on May 12th of this year. I went to Kansas City to purchase this car, and I bought it for $2,300. Drove it all the way back from Kansas City to my house on old tires and old timing belt and some other stuff, and everything went perfectly fine. I got the tires replaced shortly after that, and I got the timing belt replaced, which was fairly expensive, but not as expensive as I expected it to be necessarily. It was a little over $1,000 to have it done because you have to do the water pump as well. I just had it done at a Toyota dealer because I didn't feel like messing with it myself, and I also didn't feel like having somebody who wasn't a dealer do it because it probably cost about the same. So just had it done at the dealer, and it's been doing fine so far. Of course, I got the tires replaced, as I said, and I drove this all the way from here in St. Louis to Sandusky, Ohio, which is where Cedar Point is, if you know the amusement park. There we go, that's what I was looking for. Amusement park up in Sandusky, Ohio, basically the most northern point of Ohio, and went there with a friend, and also went to a place called Kings Island in Cincinnati on the way back, basically. And on the way up to Sandusky, Ohio, well, not really Sandusky, because we stayed in a place called Clyde, Ohio for 2 nights. There's a Tacoma X-Runner over there. Huh. That's kind of a rare sight. But about 45 minutes out from our hotel that we were staying at in Clyde, Ohio, I hit a deer. And not like, you know, a deer ran out in front of me and I hit it. There was a semi in front of me, so I didn't have my brights on, and we were driving on two-lane highway going 60 miles per hour roughly. A semi went over a deer that had been just hit on the road in front of us. The Tesla Model X too. There goes the X-Runner. I want to film one of those someday. I guess you'd see it. But so I didn't have my brights on, and basically I didn't see the deer until I was basically right on top of it. Didn't have any time to really do anything. All I did was just kind of coast over it, so I didn't, you know, dip the front end down and take out the entire front bumper with it. And it hit the underside of the car. Ripped off a piece of well, not really ripped off, but bent back a piece of plastic that was underneath the front bumper, and that was really about it. That was all I noticed. I stopped and pulled over right away to see if there was any major damage, like to coolant lines or oil or whatever, make sure there was no leaks. And it turned out to be fine. So we continued on from there. Drove it all the way to Sandusky, and then, like I said, drove down to Cincinnati the next day to go to Kings Island. Drove back, had no issues after that. That was the bulk of my driving. And I know 4,000 miles in 3 months isn't really that crazy at all, just because the average mileage driven is like 12,000 per year, so like 1,000 per month. And it's only, you know, 1,200 per month or so average I've been driving it. But that's because I didn't really have anywhere to go for an entirety of like a month or two during my early ownership of this car, and I wasn't daily driving it or anything. So that was the bulk of the mileage, yada yada yada. Now I'm driving it more, driving it daily again, or driving it daily in general. So mileage has been constantly going up a little bit per day, although I'm not driving very far to go to work. The Ohio trip was done. Like I said, I drove 1,134 miles or something total, and everything went fine through that, other than the deer. And after that, I didn't drive the car hardly at all. Just because, like I said, I didn't have a job to go to, and I wasn't making money, so I didn't want to spend money on gas or going anywhere really, and ended up just staying home most of the time. So there's where it gets a little bit less, but I did actually have some work to do for my aunt while she was on a vacation over in Europe. Went up to her house quite a few times, cut the grass and whatnot. and I actually transported an entire push mower, not really bent, but compacted, I guess, in its compact form, in the trunk of this car, and it fit. And yeah, I did that once, and I was like, yeah, let's screw this, and then I drove my Ranger the next couple times I transported it. So, but it was definitely an interesting experience trying to get a push mower into the trunk of a Lexus LS400. And also, if you don't know, oh wait, this is a flashing yellow. If you would like to see more of my shenanigans that I do on a daily basis, well, not really maybe daily basis, but general kind of behind the scenes stuff, you can follow me on Instagram mostly. I do a lot of pictures and stuff on there, and you can follow me on Twitter and stuff too if you'd like, but for the most part I use Instagram and Twitter most. So that was the end of that, and then, like I said, I didn't really do much at all, and then I started daily driving this, which I will get to making another video of relating to daily driving this in the future, in the near future, because it's kind of interesting. With where I have to go to work now, it's a little interesting compared to what I expected to be doing with this car, or like driving wise. So we'll be making a video on that soon, whenever I have time to, which might be today, might not, I'm not sure. You may have noticed that throughout that entire thing, I never mentioned any problems I've had with the car, because that's the thing, I've had no problems with the reliability of the car. I've had no problems with having to fix things or really worrying about it at all. And the only like weird things that went on with the car have been things that have been happening since I got the car, such as the starter acts a little funky every now and then, a little slow. I'm not sure what that is exactly, and that's really about it. There's nothing else I can really think of off the top of my head that is necessarily a huge problem that I have with the car right now. I don't really have much else to say, so thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments or concerns about anything in this video, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. I'd be happy to answer anything you have to ask or anything like that. She can get in the right lane here, so I want to turn around. And I will see you in the next video. More LS400 content is coming. And also, speaking of LS400 content, thank you so much for all of you that have subscribed and have watched my 2 previous videos on this car, this Mustang, that have now reached like 3,000 views each. And we went up 200 subscribers pretty much in like a month. So that's pretty cool. So thank you all so much for that. And hopefully we can keep this train rolling. Thank you for watching, and I'm out of here. See ya.